pace with control of this race. Here comes a run from Davey Hazard. He blocks the 10. Not going to be enough. Ryan Pace is going to win at Talladega.
Curry trying to hold off Wilson. He's done a good job so far. Wilson, one last desperate attempt to the bottom. He won't get there. Nick Curry wins at Bristol.
Coming out turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway here. Looks like he's in a class of his own right now.
Merzlak, one final time, get around the 55, big time send.
He hits the wall, he hits it, he gets the lead, but can he hang on to it? Oh my goodness, he made it to the line!
Big push down the backstretch is going to give him a good run through the corners.
A little bit
Follow from the 1.
A little bit of contact there for second, but coming to the line, Toby Roberson's going to take home the checkered flag and victory here from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's presentation of the Bomb Squad Racing League Cup Series, here from the Michigan International Speedway, live on JTN. Calling up in the booth here tonight, it's not actually Joe, it's Ricky Collette here up in the booth, giving it to you high, wide, and handsome. Joe on vacation this weekend, so we're going to be taking over the booth tonight. Joining me tonight is going to be Mr. Dewey Schramm. Dewey, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, Ricky. How you doing yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. We get to come here to the beautiful Irish Hills of Michigan for tonight's race, again at Michigan International Speedway. 80-lap event here tonight, and this is the Circle B diecast race preview. Make sure to use code JTN at checkout for a cool little discount on purchases. I think it's over $30 or more. I might need a fact check on that. I forgot to do that ad read before we started, but Circle B diecast race preview here from Michigan as these guys are getting into qualifying here. Dewey, what do you think we're going to be expected tonight? Which Old Michigan, it's big, it's fast, it's going to be loose. What can we expect from these guys this evening?
Going to be a lot of drafting. There's going to be a lot of tire fall off, and there's going to be a lot of pit stops. Of course, with the 3X where these guys run every week, they're going to have to account for that. I think 4 or 5 stops here for tonight. And again, with how fast this track is, there's going to be quite a bit of drafting. So they're going to have to use that to their advantage as well. And when it all settles, it should be a very, very fun night.
Very fun night indeed. Now, we're talking in pre-race here as these guys are going through qualifying. Got a little time to kill. We talked about the 3X wear. Very short runs tonight. Here in Rumblings Down the Garage, only about 15 laps of fuel. I don't know, Dewey, what do you think? The track like this, Michigan, it's high speed, but this is older Michigan. The track's got some wear in it. It definitely requires some handling. What do you think is going to give out first here, the rubber or the gas?
Honestly, even with the tire fall off, I still think gas is going to be the thing that makes them come down pit road more than anything else. I think you could probably go maybe 20, 25 laps on a set of tires, but obviously, if the gas tank isn't big enough, then you can't do it anyway. So it'll definitely be the size of these fuel tanks that's going to make these guys arrange their stops.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a technical time here tonight, following the Bomb Squad Racing League all season here as they do their Cup Series opener. I'm not sure if I leave this opening slide up. I guess I do, at least till we get to race time, unless someone tells me not to. I guess I could take it down. But following the season here, interesting season so far. Story of the season really has been BSR Killjoules in the 029 car, BSR Ricky J in the 193, just running away with the points picture right now. KJ with 10 wins on the season, Ricky with 8. 52-point gap between the leader and second place right now, but Greg Lovell right behind him, 122 points back. Dewey, we got a full season format here of points, and these guys run till November in Phoenix, so we're only about, we're not even halfway through the season, or maybe a skosh past halfway point in the season here. At this point, I know you've run a few different leagues, a few different points formats. How do you feel this time of the year when you're running a full season format? Do you think there's time to rally back?
Personally, I love the full season format, and you just mentioned Greg Lovell sitting there third in points coming into tonight, and even with as dominant as those top 2 cars have been all season, all it takes is a 2 or 3 week stretch, or maybe Greg can get hot, maybe steal a win or two, and it can all of a sudden vault him right back into championship contention and close that gap on our top 2 runners. So even though obviously it's been the Ricky J and KJ show this season, again, all it takes is a couple race stretch, and all of a sudden it could be a 3, maybe 4 car battle for that championship.
It can indeed, and looking back at the point spread through the top 5 here, rounding out, Mike Coulon 131 points back, BSR Nelly 182 points back. So both of them within spitting distance of Greg Lovell here. 3rd through 5th's a pretty contentious points battle at the moment. So I would agree with you. If those guys, if anything happens with this top 2, if they hit that groove at the wrong time, if they get into a funk at the wrong time this season, we've seen it before in real racing. We see it all the time. In sim racing, sometimes you're hot early in the season, but then you peak too soon. Sometimes you peak late in the season, you're a late bloomer, as it were. You never know, but if those top 2, if anything happens, there's 3 hungry guys that are 3rd through 5th that are all going to rear down on them as we're continuing our Circle B diecast race preview here. Waiting for these qualifying numbers to come in. Going to be a pretty good night here, I think, from this joint. We usually have some pretty exciting races here, but I don't know, Dewey, what do you think? Are we going to see a lot of close racing here, or do you think we're going to get a little spread out? We just came with these guys to Indy last week, a similar track to Michigan here, with a lot of drafting, and it seemed like it kept these guys tucked up pretty tight, and that was a flat track.
Yeah, and tonight, obviously, much more banking here at Michigan. And of course, in addition to that, we only have the 15 lap runs roughly on gas. So there's really not going to be a run long enough to get these guys all spread out unless they, don't all pit at the same time. But if, most of the pack decides to pit at the same time on every fuel cycle, they should stay together for most of the evening tonight.
They should, and it looks like qualifying is over, and we are now officially in happy hour. Do you want to read off the starting lineup?
Sure, I guess I can do that.
I can't see the list.
Ricky J there in the 193 is going to lead us to the green here tonight. Congrats to him on picking up the pole here for tonight. Keith MC is going to roll off to his outside P number 2. Row number 2 is going to consist of Cody Luke in the 8 and Herman Reese in the 73. M. Coulon in the 199 and Jason San Diego in the 022. BSR Nelly in the 103 and Steve Grant in the 011 make up row number 4. Rounding out the top 10, it'll be BSR Sean and Rick Craddock there in the 22. Row number 6, BSR Silver Bullet in the 4 to his outside Terry Scott in the 66. It'll be Michael Moore in the 740 and BSR Monty Keller back in row number 7. BSR Magoo in the 144 and Manny D in the 710 make up row number 8. And then the last row we're going to read off here, BSR Jimmy Dale in the 33 and BSR KJ. Looks like he didn't take a time here, so he's going to roll off all the way back in 18th here for tonight. And rounding out the grid will be BSR Brain Fade in the 49. So the last person to take time was Michael Moore in the 740. So perhaps maybe some drivers anticipating an early race incident and electing to maybe avoid it in the back.
I think you might be right there. A lot of drafting at this track. Like we said, big, wide, expansive track. A lot of places to race, but a lot of places to have some trouble here. And this was our Circle B. They're right later in the race. The Circle B diecast race preview here on JTN. And I'm going to get that off the screen for you fine folks. We'll go looking through the field as these guys are riding around happy hour here. Oh, look at that. We're inside one of the cars. Oh, we're in another one. There we go. That's a 66 machine there. Terry Scott, 49 of Brain Fade, the 029 car, KJ there. Like you say, KJ starting in the back tonight. Going to be interested to see how he comes up through the field. He's got the wins on the year to kind of have that bragging right at the moment. So, going to be interested to see how that plays. Dewey, how do you think we're going to see for racing line here tonight? You see KJ blinking out a little bit there. Do you think this is going to be a pretty expansive track? Or do you think these guys are going to be filtered down that bottom line?
I think, early in the run when the tires are still new, you could probably go multi-group. But I think as the run goes on, you'll probably start to see some guys filter towards the bottom of the racetrack. Of course, the shorter way around, and I believe the less tire wear. But again, if we have like a 2-lap shootout or 3-lap shootout at the very end of the race, I think all those grooves are definitely within reach. But I think if we have a long run that stays green, I wouldn't say it's a bottom feeding track, but I definitely think the bottom would be the preferred way around.
think you might be right there, and my apologies on that. I fat fingered it, hit my hotkey for the actual opening slide and not actually the race preview, so you guys didn't see some of those cars driving around on track. But now you can see them nice and clear as day as you see some of these results popping up on the screen as these guys are running some laps. Good time here in happy hour to take some laps. Just make sure you get down pit road. Pit road entry is going to be a tricky one here tonight, I think, because we've seen cold tires seem to be the killer this season, and this track's definitely one where you're putting a lot of rear weight in that car, and these cars, a stock car in the oval does not like it when you put a lot of rear weight into it and then ask it to slow down.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. So, you know, obviously it's a very wide track, and you would think it looks pretty easy to get down pit road, but don't underestimate it. It is a very difficult pit entry here at Michigan. And something else to watch as well is potentially the apron on pit exit. A lot of times we see some guys getting loose on the apron coming out of the turns, trying to merge back up. So we'll see if that ends up being a factor here tonight as well.
In chat, seeing some people already tune in. Kim Watson, Allison Rodrigo saying hello to everyone. Magoo saying hi to race fans and good luck everyone, and thanks JTN. So great to see everyone in the chat tonight. Magoo, of course, racing, so good luck there when you get rolling. Joe backseat driving in chat, so we got a safety net. Got a safety net tonight here, Dewey.
If all else fails, we've got our guy.
He can yell in chat if I miss a wreck. You get to be in my position here tonight because I'm gonna miss the wrecks. I have an excuse now because I gotta control the cameras, but
Just means you got to pick up the pace for the rest of the season.
I know, right? I gotta stop looking through everyone. There's so many nice paints out here. You see the 028 Monty Keller here, 029 KJ fighting side by side, just grooving around. These guys just getting some laps in as we wait for. Just as we're waiting for the race to begin here. Magoo in chat talking that he's having some software issues, can't drive the track because of it, so just trying to get by tonight. So, some of these guys I think are going to be in that position. Basically, it's a weird track. Sometimes you come here and you're kind of just in defense mode. See everyone coming down onto pit road here. The pace car lining up.
Drivers, to your cars.
We get ready to start tonight's race. We'll line up on the field here, waiting for that call to go green. Took me a few things. It took take me a few guesses here with this with these controls, but I think I got it. I think I got it where I want it.
Drivers, start your engines.
There's the starting command for tonight's race here at Michigan International Speedway. Again, Ricky J and the 28 Keith MC starting on that front row here. Row number 2 is going to be Herman Reese in the 73 car up top. On the bottom, the 8 Cody Luke. 199 to Mike Coulong on that bottom row in the 3rd spot. And that's going to round out the top 5 here. And I will say up top here, Jason San Diego. That's the first 3 rows. Kind of prattle off through those a little quick here, Dewey, just because we're going to be going racing here, so I don't want to get everyone distracted on that. See that big yellow Dodge Charger pace car? Grab that out of the tool shed here because we don't have the big fancy JTN one tonight because I don't have all that stuff. So, make do with the old-timey Charger, but it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty good at least.
Yeah, one of us must be colorblind because the Charger on my screen is green, but a Charger nonetheless here to lead us to the green here for tonight. Pretty good looking car and some pretty good looking race cars pacing right behind it. So Ricky J looking for, I believe, his 9th win of the season here tonight. KJ trying to get win number 11. and quite a few guys in this field trying to get win number 1. And it's time to find out who will prevail here in the next 80 laps.
Time to find out who's going to prevail here as that Dodge Charger pace car brings him around turn number 4 here. Is going to make the big left-hand turn onto pit road as they come down here. Ricky J going to lead him back. He's waiting for that flagman up in the stand to start waving that big old green cloth up in the air. Waiting on it, gets on the gas, and we are green flag here at Michigan.
And that was a great start for Ricky J. And Cody Luke in the 8 had one as well. And he looks like he'll be able to pass the 28 of Keith MC for that second spot here through turns 1 and 2. So a quick changing of the guard there for our runner-up spot. As we've got trouble towards the back already, the 33 of BSR Jimmy Dale has gone for a spin here in the middle of 1 and 2. The 710 of Manny D also in some trouble. And that'll be our first caution of the night here in just our first couple of corners.
Does, and it looks like Manny D stopped on the apron here at 33. Jimmy Dale rolling. So, we are under yellow here, and we will get you that old replay at the moment. And we're going to come back here, coming into turn number 1, following the 710 car of Manny D here. Seems like Manny just gets loose trying to check up for the 144. Magoo tries to hang on to it, catches the 33. Both of them go for a pretty slow spin. No damage on either one of those cars, it seems like.
Yeah, 710 did graze the outside wall there, but shouldn't be too bad. And nice job as well by Brain Fade and Kilojoules to get those cars slowed down and avoid those two vehicles that were spinning. So shout out to those two there for keeping their heads up. Of course, you might not always expect to spin on lap 1, but sometimes you got to expect the unexpected. And again, both of those cars should be good to go here for the rest of the night.
Could be good to go, and we already got bots in chat. Someone already beat me to it.
Well, never mind. Looks like Manny D is elected to retire after that incident. So an early DNF there for the 710 machine. Fortunately for him, didn't even make it a lap here in tonight's event. So
very unfortunate indeed for that team.
And it didn't look like that big of a hit either, so I wonder why he retired.
Oh, you know, sometimes, I don't know, sometimes, we were talking about this at the top of the show. 144 was talking about just trying to survive on this. Some of these guys kind of fighting this track tonight already. I don't know, you've had races like that before, haven't you? I have, where you kind of have, you come into the race and then you immediately are just like, all right, I don't want to do this. You just kind of tap out real quick.
More times than I can count on my fingers, Ricky.
One car coming down pit road here, it seems like. 39 also down, or 38 down here. BSR Sean. It looks like the 029 at KJ having some connection issues. KJ down on the apron here. I believe he came down pit road, so one of the few cars, this and the 38, the only ones to take tires, I think, on this stop. But right now, that puts Ricky J up front here. In that second spot is Cody Luke in that 8 Budweiser machine. Third spot goes to the old gray ghost here, Keith MC. Fourth spot to Herman Reese, and fifth spot to Jason San Diego. We're rounding around here still under caution at lap 3. Good to see the 28 of Keith MC up here has been starting to get on a little bit of a hot streak here, Dewey. He's had a very rough season up to this point. Actually leads the league right now in DNFs on the season with 6. This 28 team, it seems like it's been feast or famine all year for them. And the tides have finally started to lean back in their favor some. Got a win in the past few weeks here, so I think they're starting to get a little momentum here. In a pretty big points hole, obviously not in the top 5 on points, but I think at this point in your season, you're just looking for wins, right?
Yeah, and that 28's had speed throughout. We saw how strong he was back at Pocono. So, I mean, and also I believe he was pretty fast at Atlanta as well. So that 28 car definitely has the pace, but just got to put a complete race together and see if he can park it in victory lane as a result. And obviously with his qualifying position and where he's running right now, I think he's got a pretty good chance to do that here for tonight. Remains to be seen if he can, though.
Yeah, and I'm going to knock on wood right there when you say that, because we've jinxed every single guy that we ever do that to, and Keith does not need us jinxing him. that team has definitely had a lot of ups and downs, but it definitely seems like a lot of these downs have not been of their doing this year. Just bad luck, just not good luck of the draw. So hopefully everything looking good for them this year. Everyone going to be chasing Ricky J. We'll get back green here. I'd imagine we're probably going to be going green next time by. When we get rolling here from Michigan. But you already see these guys kind of clutching it a little bit here. That 15 laps on fuel, they're going to burn through that quick. They didn't even do a full lap, but I would imagine even riding around out here, this track's 2.5 miles. I mean, I can kind of say this from experience. I've done it a few times at Michigan. I'm sure you've done it as well. Is that when you try saving fuel here in Michigan, you really can't save a whole lot. You can save maybe a lap. Under green conditions, but even under caution, it's like you're really trying to squeeze water out of a stone doing that.
Yeah, definitely one of the more difficult tracks to save fuel at. I mean, obviously, if you're under caution, you can try to pace on the apron, and take the shortest way around the track possible. But that's really about all you can do at a track like this, considering how fast you have to go through the entirety of the corner just to maintain regular pace. If you try to clutch through the corner, you're just going to lose so much speed that it may not end up being worth your while anyway.
You really got to change up how you're entering that corner too, because if you clutch it in on cold tires, you really risk spinning the car because the rear end's not locked up. You kind of rotate very easily when the clutch is engaged.
I gotta say, I've done that a couple of times myself.
I have done it too. But one to go here at Michigan. Should be going green next time by, like we said, Ricky J, BSR Ricky J in the 193 Voiles trucking machine leading it. Folks at Voiles Trucking probably very happy to see that car up front. Do a great job supporting this league every day of the year. And joining him on the outside, again, going to be the 8-car Cody Luke, seeing Allison Rodrigo in chat saying that he really likes that throwback here, this Dale Jr. Budweiser. It's a nice one. You got the Gray Ghost in the 3rd spot, too. You mentioned of Keith MC in that 3rd position. 4th, you got the caddy of Herman Reese in that 73 machine starting to make his way up here. Jason San Diego in that 5th spot. And that's going to be the top 5. I'm just going to round it out at there to apologies to everyone in the top 10 here because we are going to get going back very quickly here as they're coming into turn 3.
And of course, that spin, for those that may have missed it, the 33 of BSR Jimmy Dale and Manny D. Of course, the 710 retired from that incident, but 33 still on the racetrack. So we'll go back green here with 65 to go. So still fairly early, of course, in this race tonight. Still a lot that can happen, and we'll see what does here as we take the green flag again.
Coming down to the line, ready to go, waiting on that flag, man. Green flag's back out in the air here from Michigan. Ricky J gets a really good launch here on this start. Takes off from these guys.
Yeah, 2nd start in a row now that Ricky J has gotten that great leap on the restart. This time, the 8 of Cody did not get past the 28. He'll file into 3rd for right now as to see the 022 of Jason San Diego trying to make up quite a bit of time now on the bottom, and he'll pass that 73 of Herman Reese for 4th.
Jason San Diego getting up past Herman Reese here, and you see him already starting to size up this 8 machine of Cody Luke here, getting into that inside line. 22 San Diego is Cody Luke giving him a lot of room, and it looks like we're back under caution here. So, 33 and the 740 of Michael Moore around in turn number 1.
Yeah, another early race incident there for Jimmy Dale, unfortunately. I think the 740 went around at the beginning and the 33 just had nowhere to go. But once again, a 2-car incident that didn't produce that much damage. So all things considered, a lucky break once again.
And we'll get you that replay here in a second. Just got to run back into the trailer. Joe took Bristol with him, so we're kind of... we got no one in the booth. I got 8 arms. But coming back to get this replay here. For the 7... Looks like it starts with the 740 of Michael Moore here. As you see him coming down into turn number 4. That car just steps out on him all on his own. Goes for a slide. 33 Jimmy Dale can't go anywhere. Gets up into him and bam. Just a little bit of a bop there. But both cars seem pretty clean, so I think they should be going again. They should have no issue continuing in this race. Jimmy Dale might have some nose damage there, but we'll have to see, I guess.
Doesn't look too bad, and I think Jimmy Dale definitely thought that the 740 was going to stay on the bottom side of the racetrack after spinning, but he went up high. The 740 went up high, and You know, that's just two cars in the same place at the same time. And that's what happens when you end up in that spot. But like you said, should be minimal, if any, damage to the 33. So even though he's been involved in 2 incidents tonight, pretty unscathed through both of them.
Split opinion here down on pit road as we were talking. Looks like Ricky J's coming on down. Cody Lucas, the 103 car of Nelly, coming down. 22, Rick Craddock, 199. Mike Coulon, 66. The 4, the 028. They're all coming down here right now. A few guys chose to stay out.
Yeah, the majority of the field, though, on pit road. Looks like the 28, 022, 73, 011, 29, 33, and 740, despite spinning, they stay out as well. So it looks like 5 or 6 cars going to move themselves up to the front of the field. So we'll see how this works out. And we've seen now these 2 early restart incidents, or early incidents right off the restart. So now that these leaders are going to be mired back in some traffic, how will that affect them here coming up for this next restart?
That is a good question. Now, I want to ask you, that 4 team, do you see any rumblings down on pit road? Did they take 2 tires, Silver Bullet? Because you got a lot of positions winning the race off pit road here in this Crown Royal Chevy Camaro.
Definitely possible, and maybe just a splash of fuel or less fuel than everybody else did. Could be any number of things, but 2 tires likely the call there for the 4. We'll see how it works out for him, though, because obviously you've only had about 2-ish laps under green, so maybe it makes sense to take 2 tires, considering that most of these guys probably haven't worn theirs out at all yet.
That is a good point, but as we look at these guys kind of pacing around, this means a 28 of Keith MC going to be leading them back when we get back to green flag condition here. And that will be an interesting spread. You see 22, the 73, the 11. Everyone coming down pit road here. Not everyone, excuse me. The 029 coming down. The 33 coming down, the 740, obviously because they were in that accident. But you see the 4 coming back down, so I wonder if that wasn't actually by design, if the 4 team actually made a misstep on that pit stop, made the wrong call there by mistake. But these guys all coming back down. You got to wonder if they're maybe trying to stretch this into a fuel window. Currently on lap 9 out of 80, so 15 laps to a fuel run. Obviously, all these laps under yellow going to change that a little bit, but these guys are probably thinking to the end of the race now, aren't they? Trying to figure out how they can split this into as few pit stops as possible, assuming that they can get all the way to the end without another caution.
Yeah, and I just went back and looked. It looks like Silver Bullet overshot his pit stall a bit. When he backed up into his stall, he was too far over to change the left side tires, so perhaps coming back down to get those left sides changed and get himself 4 fresh tires. So I mean, definitely not the mishap you want to have, but it was under caution and still very early in the race, so it shouldn't affect him too badly here.
I don't think it will that much. Obviously, early in the race here, and also it wasn't really a net loss for him. He was going to end up in that spot if he stayed out. Not if you guys going to the end of the line here, 38, a Sean, but actually not too far back, only behind the 029 here of some of these guys that pitted. Never mind, a few more guys behind him. So he's a little further back, but, you know, it's not a huge problem for him at this point in the race. He's around. We'll see if we get this old 1 to go here.
Hopefully so. Survey says.
And 1 to go here. Gonna be Keith MC in that first spot. Second position goes to the 22, Jason San Diego. Third, Herman Reese. Fourth, Steve Grant. Fifth spot, BSR, Ricky J. 6 goes to the 8, Cody Luke. 6 goes to 103 and Nelly. 8 of Cody Luke is in 7th. These guys are all over the place. I'm trying, but I'm just going to leave it there and get back to our leader here, because otherwise I'm going to hurt my brain trying to think that hard.
Yeah, it looks like Cody's 6th, and I think Nelly and M. Coulon the next row after that. So we'll have 60 to go still when we get back green. So again, still quite a ways to go here tonight. 2 early yellows, of course, just single 2-car spins that didn't really affect much of anything. So still all but 1 car in the field and on the lead lap. So still a lot of good racing left to go, as we'll be prepared here to take green once again.
Ready to take the green here, coming back around to see what happens. Waiting on that get up and go as these guys are coming around off of turn 4. Dewey, do you want to take them this time, or do you want me?
You're the lead. I think you should.
All right, let's figure I offer. We kind of trade off sometimes, me and Joe. Waiting to come back here as we go to green. We're waiting for it. The flag man up in the stand has it up in his hand. The flag is in his hand and perfect. Ready to go, ready to roll here as they're going to get into the restart zone. And we are back under green here from Michigan.
Oh, man, the 011 of Steve Grant did not get a good restart there, and that's going to stack the outside up here into turn 1, but definitely a beneficiary there for Ricky J and Herman Reese, as there's a couple of free spots for them to pick up as a result.
28, Keith MC gets a little loose here on turn 1. That lets Jason San Diego get to the outside. Look at Ricky J. Give that 22 a big push down the straightaway.
This is the drafting we were talking about pre-race already coming into effect now that we've had a bit of a battle here to start to unfold, as looks like our first lap under green will go to the 28, as Herman Reese think got a bit loose there on the bottom out of 4, and it'll be the 28, the 022, and the 93 up at the front.
Yep, the 193 car now side by side with the 22. Ricky J not letting Jason San Diego get away here. You mentioned that he got a little loose. It seems like these guys got a little loose on the bottom there, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to step out. It means like they scrub off a bit of speed first before the car gets really sideways. Like you saw with Herman Reese back there in the 73. Looks like he falls in line though, and now they're just kind of tracking around. He's going to try to reel these guys back in using that draft. A little further back though, Steve Grant getting to the inside of Cody Luke here in this 8 car. Side by side, here's Rick Craddock in the 22 comes into the picture. Going to stay on the outside trying to push Cody Luke along with that draft.
Yeah, side by side for 5th here as we go into turn number 1, as Grant trying to side draft there on the 8. As we'll see what Craddock can do, maybe take it 3 wide out of turn 2 if he gets enough of a run. But good battle here so far here in about the middle of the field, as Nelly will brush the wall out of turn 2.
And Dewey, I'm noticing this middle line's working a lot better than at least I was anticipating. It really does seem like some of these guys can roll around up there. You saw the 8 muscle on by the 11, the 22's doing the same thing. Craddock up here getting that big push from the 103 and Nelly.
Yeah, the bottom definitely seems to be too loose, especially on colder tires. Maybe it'll come in better as a run goes on, but at the very least on these newer tires, looks like it is definitely not the way to go. At least trying to hug that yellow line. So it looks like the middle of the groove, maybe where about Craddock is running, looks to be.
No, Grant gets loose. Sorry to cut you off there, but that was a big bobble out of that number 11 Pontiac.
A close call there for Grant. That's exactly what we were saying. On the bottom on corner exit, it's a little bit sketchy, especially again on these newer tires. So it'll probably be towards the latter end of a run. Now we might see some guys make their way down there. But for right now, again, the middle looks to be the preferred way around.
Those guys straighten out a little bit. Just looking up front here real quick. 28, 22, 193, 73. All still single file. All still under a blanket. No one getting an edge on each other just yet. Ada Cody Luke's in a league of his own here. You see Rick Craddock's got a bit of a logjam behind him still. It's a 103 and Nelly's starting to shape up this 22 ski machine.
Yeah, it looks like that contact with the wall did not hurt the 103 one bit, as he's already trying to gain up or make back the ground that he lost, as he's trying to get himself up to the rear bumper of Craddock, as Steve Grant now files in behind that 103 after that bit of looseness that he had there a couple of laps prior. But some good battling here throughout the field. Of course, the top 4 breaking away a little bit from the rest of the field, but still quite a few guys under a blanket and going all out for these positions.
They are, and you know, these guys riding around together, I don't know, what do you think right now? Do you think they're racing, or do you think if you're Jason San Diego here on the 22, you're riding around in this draft and letting Keith MC here burn his fuel out a little more?
I mean, honestly, I'm not sure, because again, these fuel runs are only about 15 laps, and I don't know how many more after that you could realistically stay out. I don't know if you could push it to 16 or 17, or if maybe we'll see some guys short pit after 13 or 14. It's going to be interesting to see once we get a run that long enough, but it's also going to, you know, make the strategy that much more interesting, given that the runs aren't really going to be that long. It
is definitely going to throw a wrinkle into that strategy here. Already Second on the back door, lap 20 here, so we might actually be coming up on green flag pit stop sooner than we think, with only 15 lap runs. We see Ricky J looking to the inside. Jason San Diego gets a really good run here into turn 1, set him up. He's on the inside, but will San Diego be able to power back by on the high line?
Yeah, it looks like Ricky J is going to make it work, and I think now that these tires are starting to wear out, that bottom side is going to become a bit more prevalent as Ricky J makes quick work there of the 022 and gets himself up into that second spot. As further back, Nelly has gotten around the 22 of Craddock, and now that 22 has got a Hornet's Nest right behind him with Steve Grant, M. Coulong, and Monty Keller all looking for those spots as well.
And you know, dude, every week here when we come to BSR, 3 times tire wear, we really always have to talk about long run versus short run here. Always ends up being a factor, always comes into play, just how quickly the tires wear out. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. Some of these guys, 22 of Craddock, losing a spot to Nelly there. Some of these guys starting to stumble up a little bit. Steve Grant was running further up front, and now he's a little further in the back. Looking up to the front with these front 4 guys here. See the 193 coming up on the 28. Looks like Ricky J's got some long run speed, but Jason San Diego's gotten passed by Herman Reese. Dropped back to the 4th spot, and at the moment, it looks like he's actually losing this front pack.
Yeah, certainly interesting. Of course, the dynamic with the 3X, where, of course, you know, there really isn't a long run per se, given that you're only going to run about 15 laps on fuel. But since the tire wear is also 3X, there can still be a big variance of tire wear between these drivers in those 15 laps. So, again, you may not think it's a very long time, but tires can still make a big difference even in that short amount of time.
They definitely can, and I think we were kind of trying to figure it out a little bit if it would, and now we're starting to get an answer on it. You see the 193, Ricky J side by side with the 28 of Keith MC coming to the line here. Ricky J leads that lap. Keith's going to let him have it, jump in line, get some draft behind the 193. He's let a lot of laps out here already tonight. I got to think that maybe he let Ricky on by there just so he can ride that draft a little bit. The 193 has definitely got something for this later run here, which is good to see. The 193, a lot of weeks seems like he has a more of a short run, mid run car, but this thing seems to be coming alive right at the perfect time.
Looks like we're going to have some short pitting here. We're only about 11 laps into this run, but it looks like Herman Reese and a bunch of our other front runners are going to make their way down the pit lane this time. So this is certainly something to see, as we estimated about a 15 lap run on fuel, and now we're only getting about 11 or 12 with these guys on pit road. So looks like maybe some short pitting strategy coming into play now with those 2nd through 4th guys.
Definitely, and some of these guys did stay out here. I believe the 28, the 73, and the 22 all stayed out, so maybe a little less fuel than they thought they would, trying to save under pit road. You see these guys all on pit road, getting 4 tires and fuel. Ricky J still leading here. 2nd spot, though, now surrenders to Cody Luke, who's under a ton of heat from Nelly in this 103 car right now. Cody Luke coming on down pit road, though.
Looks like Steve Grant in the 011 is going to join him.
Oh, Cody Luke off in the dirt there, but he gets onto the line. But, man, he was hammered on that brake pedal. I don't know if he made it down to speed.
Hopefully he did, but a close call regardless, as that's going to put BSR Nelly now up into 2nd for the time being, with Craddock and M. Coulong right behind him, as you see that huge gap that now exists between Ricky J and 2nd place. But now it'll be interesting to see, once these guys do pit, where the ones that pit first will end up shaking out.
BJ not coming this time. Nelly staying out. You see the 199 of Mike Coulong here to the inside of Rick Craddock. Camaro versus Camaro side by side here, coming across the line. 22 still edged ahead of him at the line here, but Coulong going to try to throw it in, coming in turn 1. Craddock's got the draft, though, with Nelly, and he's going to be able to pull back away from the 199 of Mike Coulong, stay in his position. Coulong going to try to make that run on the outside, but you got to wonder when these guys are going to pit, too.
Yeah, I think we're approaching now lap 14 on this run. So again, that number looks to be maxed out at 15. So we'll see how much longer these guys elect to stay out. Looks like Ricky J at the very least is going to. And most of this front pack will as well. So looks like they're going to take it all the way to the end.
You see this 28 and 22 here. See the 8 of Cody Luke. These guys are all on fresh tires, but they're a lap down right now. Their biggest priority right now is to probably run around in that draft, run some faster laps than the leaders, and hope that they can kind of use that to close the delta and get back out to the lead when these guys jump down pit road here. When they finally choose to come in, see the 22 to the inside, the 103 of Nelly. They're side by side here, coming through turn 3 and 4. Still waiting to see if anyone comes down pit road, but for the moment, doesn't look like there's any further takers.
Yeah, and that's going to put us at that number 15. So I'd imagine that this is going to be now we see most of these guys pitting. And looking at the chat, looks like the 66, 38, the 199 all are going to make their way in this time. We'll see if anybody else elects to as well. But I think we finally hit that max window. And now we'll see if that short pitting strategy ends up being the one to go with.
We'll see if Ricky J here comes on down. You see how much he's clutching it. I think this is definitely a strategy play here. He's trying to squeeze as many gallons of Sunoco race fuel out of that Voiles truck and Ford Mustang as he can. Coming down pit road with a huge head of steam here. Ricky J is going to get down, motored to the line. But you see everyone coming down behind him. Here comes Nelly. Here comes Craddock. Here comes Coulong. Here comes old Monty Keller in the 028. They all get down to speed. 4 tires and fuel. Jimmy Dale right behind him. Now keep an eye out, though, to some of these guys that were on pit road here. Jason San Diego, Keith MC, and Herman Reese in that 73 car. Right now, they're trying to come back around and see if they can charge by these leaders as they're waiting around on pit road.
Yeah, and I'm looking at BSR Sean and Silver Bullet just now exiting pit road. They're going to be in a tight predicament here, as they're going to have a much bigger pack of leaders coming up on them pretty soon after exiting. So I think these two may have been times in the lap.
Might have been. Here comes Ricky J. Still, I think the proverbial leader on the apron here. But we'll see if that 73 Cadillac comes motoring on by. Here comes Herman Reese there right up top. And there goes Herman Reese. He's going to take the lead back here at Michigan on this pit cycle. It's going to be interesting because now that 73 is out in his clean air. But now he's on a completely different pit strategy than Ricky J. 22, San Diego gets on by. 28, Keith MC side by side. You're getting on by. The 8 gets on by. 193 gets up to speed. That's going to be in the 5th position.
Yeah, this is going to be really fascinating here to see how this all plays out. And with a 5-lap difference, 4 or 5 laps in when they pit, I wonder now if this is going to result in guys like Ricky J just having to pit one fewer time than guys like Herman Reese over the rest of the night. And if so, that might be the winning call to make, despite Herman getting the lead on this most recent strategy.
Definitely will. And the big question that's in my mind is you see these guys all running good laps. How much are these tires falling off here? How quickly can Ricky J make back this ground on these guys? He's riding around towing the draft of Cody Luke right now. So I think mission accomplished here that he's hanging on to the draft of these leaders, because as their tires start to wear away, his tires are going to start to grip up. It's just a question of how much difference is it on the back end there? How much is the track chewing up this rubber right now? We don't really hear a whole ton about tire wear. We're kind of taking some guesses, but, you know, Michigan's big and it's fast. And you're usually putting a lot of pressure on that right front to get to boogie around here at a reasonable pace.
Yeah, and of course, putting pressure on the right front is almost universal with most of these racetracks, but we'll see how much it wears tonight versus other tracks that this series will visit. As they're going to approach lap number 30 here this time, so slowly starting to creep up on halfway tonight. So maybe we'll start to see a varying strategy again play out. Maybe somebody will short pit that didn't the first time. Maybe a guy like Herman Reese will stay out longer than he did the first time. Time will tell.
Time will definitely tell. As you see, the 28 was kind of snaking the 73 car coming down the straightaway front stretch. He has Herman Reese's draft. He's trying to get advantage of that. But a little further back here, you see the 193 sizing up the 8 car. Cody Luke going to throw it in deep coming into turn number 3 here. They're side by side rolling through the turn. 8 of Cody Luke going to let him have it. They'll put Ricky J up to that 4th spot.
Yeah, Cody on that short pitting strategy, of course, and on those older tires as a result, just has no match there for Ricky J on that fresher rubber. So he'll vault himself right back up into P4. And not that far back in Jason San Diego and Keith MC either. So it may not be long before that 193 is back up front.
Oldfield pretty filtered through right now. Steve Grant challenging the 22. Rick Craddock a little further back here. Again, a challenge from Monty Keller on the inside. These guys kind of all on the same pit cycle as well. We saw them come down pretty early with some of these guys, but didn't really get the advantage of being up front with the leaders. These guys still fighting with each other in the back here. The story is right now how this tire strategy is going to play out with these guys. As you see Ricky J really starting to rear down on the back of this 22 machine of Jason San Diego. Ricky J getting a great run here through the center of the corner, right on the back bumper of San Diego. Is he going to let that 22, is that 22 going to put up a fight here, or is he going to let Ricky J on by and try to save fuel?
I think it'd be advantageous if he lets the 193 go, because he's going to burn up his tires even more try and defend him off. But looks like he might be trying to pinch a little bit here. But, you know, with those older tires, you can't do it for very long. So he'll hold off the 193 for now, but I don't know how much longer he'll be able to do that.
Well, you know, Dewey, I was thinking about this, as you said, pinching. We see this happen a lot at super speedways, Daytona and Talladega, especially Talladega, I think is very prevalent, where usually you need that bottom line, as you see the 28 and the 73 racing each other right up here. This is a battle for the lead here, is that you'll kind of pinch the guy so that you can't get the run off the turn, because the only way that bottom works is that if you can use it to move up the track. So if you're up top, you can kind of keep them from being able to move up the track. They got to put in a ton of work. They can't let up on the pressure on the wheel. They burn up that right front and they can't pass you. So they kind of just keep fighting with you. But for the moment, it looks like Ricky J got a good spot for the 22 there. Motored on by him. Put Ricky J back up to this third spot here. But Keith MC trying to get on past Herman Reese as Ricky J is coming into the picture. I think Herman Reese's tires are starting to go away quite a bit.
Yeah, and the 28s as well, at least compared to the 193. And the 28 is going to yield him here and let Ricky J have it here into turn 3. So that 193 now back up into P2. And I imagine he'll probably get Herman, if not at the line, definitely next time by.
Herman not going to give him the line that he wants here. Ricky J dives all the way down to the bottom of the tri-oval here, side by side coming across the line. Herman Reese leads that lap, but I don't think it's going to be for long here. Ricky J on those fresher, good years. Going to roll on by the 73 machine, put Ricky J back up to the point. Here at Michigan, strategy's getting spicy, Dewey. We're getting close to halfway here, and these guys are on completely different tire calls.
Yeah, and this is really fascinating to me because now Herman's on older tires and he's on a much older fuel cycle as well. So he's going to have to pit way before Ricky J does, on top of losing time right now. So I don't know if short pitting is going to be the way to go here for tonight, because in all likelihood, that 73 is probably going to end up losing a lap, and if not a lap, quite a bit of time once this all cycles out again.
See, they're all kind of stacking up a little bit here. 73 definitely looks like the handling's going away on that Cadillac CTS. That's accurate because the sponsor is Cadillac. I wasn't just being redundant. The 28 staying close with him. Jason San Diego trying to ride around behind him. Got stumbled coming out of 2 there and lost some ground to him. But it seems like Herman Reese is starting to hold this 28 car up a little bit here, Dewey. And you see that Keith MC is looking to that outside. And I think Herman's trying to kind of defend a little bit.
Yeah, and I think Herman's tires are probably the oldest in the field right now, so there really isn't much he can do compared to the other drivers in this pack. But with Herman being a bit slower, I think it's dragging Cody Luke in the 8 closer to these guys than he was before. So in a few laps from now, this may be a 4-car battle here for that second spot if that 8 can catch up.
I think you're right, Cody Luke just towing around in these guys' draft, just getting a little bit of a snifflet there, but nothing too crazy. A little further back, you see the 103 and Nelly in the 029, a KJ fight for position here. KJ hasn't been making a whole ton of waves in this race, you know, been dominant on the season right now, but it seems like this week has been a bit of an Achilles heel for this 029 team.
28's around on pit entry and just missed the barrels. Him, Cody Luke, and I think the 73 of Herman, they were all pitting. And the 28 really overcooked it coming into pit road and stopped just shy of the pit barrels. But definitely a close call there for the 28 machine.
Get a real quick replay on this, and this might have actually brought out a caution. I saw a red flag on pit road.
Yeah, he was completely sideways there in the grass and got it going, but...
You see he's coming down here. Shifting down, out in the grass, try to hang on to it, goes to a 4-wheel spin, does a great job of making sure that he stays out of those barrels and keeps rolling.
Yeah, and we stay green here, so I'm sure the rest of the field definitely appreciative of that, but that's going to cost Keith MC a lot of time, unfortunately.
Back on track here, Jason San Diego and the 11 car down on pit road. San Diego was also in that front shuffle. Did San Diego have to come down again?
I'm not sure.
Oh, my bad. I accidentally put the wrong thing up. What'd I do?
I think that was his only stop of this cycle.
My bad. I put the opening screen up. 28 car, 33, 49, 144. 193 Ricky J here. And I'm still on catching replay screen. Hang on. Control W. There we go. Now we're back in business. Sorry about that, folks. Accidentally fat-fingered my keys, but Ricky J still leading here at the Michigan International Speedway, second spot right now. I think it's the old 29 KJ's in that second spot, right?
Yeah, him, Nelly, Terry Scott, Rick Craddock, these guys have not come down pit road like the 193, but they're still a bit of a ways behind the 193. So KJ, of course, you've seen how fast he's been all season. Maybe tonight it seems like maybe this isn't his best of racetracks, so maybe banking on some strategy to try and get himself higher up in the finishing order than just pure speed like we see most weeks.
Herman Reese still fighting out here on these tires, but you can see how much that's hurting him. All these guys have gotten away from him.
There's the Michael Moore machine slower on the apron out of 4. Looks like he'll be coming down pit road this time by.
KJ as well, too.
Monty Keller is in as well in the 028. So a couple takers here on lap number 40. So 30 to go this time by. And still looking at probably 2 more pit stops for most of this field. As looks like Ricky J will be coming in this time as well.
PJ signaling he's going to be coming in this time as well. Waiting on him to come on down here. Those fingers out the window of that 193. Voiles trucking Ford Mustang. Ricky J getting right on the binders here. Going to give a very aggressive entry onto pit road. And he gets down to speed, I think. He definitely locked him up after the turn. So we'll see. But Nelly coming down behind him. Look at that whole madhouse here. Nelly, the 66 car. 22, 199. Say hi to Mark Bancroft in chat saying hi. Joe beat me to it, but now Dewey did Herman Reese come down already?
Yeah, he's on that short pitting strategy.
Oh.
He's on 5 or 6 laps now.
My apologies. I thought he was still out there on old tires. This means these guys going to come back around. We'll see if they can blow past Ricky J again here as they're coming back off pit road. Ricky J rolling off pretty handedly ahead of these guys. Coming rolling through turn number 1 on the apron here. This is really important that Herman Reese blows on by him again. Or these guys that are on that shorter pit cycle get on by him here before he gets up to speed. You see Herman Reese of the 73 there powering off of turn 2. Gets on by Ricky J. But this time it wasn't as big of a delta. You definitely see Ricky J hanging tough here.
Yeah, and again, we saw how fast Ricky J ended up getting by Herman the last time. It only took him, I think, 5 or 6 laps to get by. And at that point, Herman's tires were just super worn out. And I think Herman's issue at this point is that he's going to get passed inevitably by Ricky J again. It's just with how different the strategy is, he can't really stay out to try to gain the time back. So at this point, he's really got to be committed to this strategy and just hope something happens that makes it work out better.
Indeed, indeed. Right now, Herman Reese leading this race. Second spot, Ricky J. Third goes to Jason San Diego. Fourth, Cody Luke. Fifth spot, I think that's BSR Silver Bullet. Nope, he's a lap. I think he's a lapper. Who's in what spot right now? Hang on to this lead here. Watching it, Herman Reese in that 73 car. 193, Ricky J still following him. But you see Jason San Diego, Cody Luke staying very close with each other, trying to use that draft to hang with Ricky J. It's going to be tricky because that 193 is on fresher tires now, too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Herman's going to be able to fend off the 193 as long as he did last time.
Apologies, everything kind of got shuffled there, so we're waiting for everything to cycle through. But KJ actually in that 5th spot. So the 029 is starting to make some waves. Right when I was talking about he was having a kind of a mute night. KJ starting to make himself shown here later in the running as we're talking about. We're within spitting distance of 30 laps to go right now, aren't we? Herman Reese still leading here, but you see Ricky J riding around behind him here. Take a quick chance to do this while I'm thinking about it. Gotta give you your upcoming races here live on JTN this week. Next Tuesday, we are back. It is Maverick Night in America from the Richmond International Raceway, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. August 11th, we're back with BSR at their event here also going to be at Richmond at 9:05, and then August 13th, going to be doing the season finale, the Velocity Racing League at 8 p.m. at the Watkins Glen Road Course with the Boot. And that's going to be your upcoming races here on JTN. As you see, the 193 car of Ricky J getting on the 73 of Herman Reese here. Ricky J to the inside of Reese here, making that battle for the position. Ricky J gets on by here. Rolls along. I almost said Ricky J's last name like J was his actual last name.
Yeah, I don't know if it was much of a battle there. As again, Herman on those older tires and on the older fuel cycle just, again, can't really do anything to fend off the 193. But again, with how different the cycle is, I think he's just got to stay committed to it and hope it works out. As we'll have 22 to go here at the line. So the last third of the race now it is upon us now. And we mentioned before KJ potentially using some strategy to try to pick up those spots again. Sitting in 5th right now, I'm not sure where he is on fuel compared to our other front runners, but definitely way further up in the running than at the start of this night.
Definitely did see the 4-year silver bullet just grazes the wall a little bit. He's a lap down at the moment. KJ riding around, like you said, in that 5th spot. Kind of a mystery on where KJ stands in terms of strategy here. But that might be the reason he's behind the wheel and we're up in the booth here, because he's definitely been clearing a lot of guys tonight up here in that 5th spot, making himself known. Cody Luke right around that 4th spot. 3rd, Jason San Diego. 2nd still goes to Herman Reese, who's actually doing a pretty good job of staying in touch with Ricky J here, but I think the problem is that 193 has definitely got fresher rubber, and it's just going to become more and more pronounced as the run's coming on. You said, though, 22 or like 21 laps to go right now, right? We're probably going to be getting close. These guys might be trying to make it to see if they can get there on one more stop.
Possible.
Because we're getting very close to being within that window, theoretically, if you can get 15 laps to a tank. Jay still leading the joint here at Michigan. You see Herman Reese start to go away a little bit. Third, Jason San Diego. KJ's gotten by Cody Luke, and now KJ's going to the inside of the 22 car here.
And he's going to get it. That is 4th, 3rd. As he's gotten by Cody Luke as well. So KJ now up onto the podium here. That's interesting. See if he can keep it there.
Definitely be interesting to see, but you see Jason San Diego not going away without a fight here. Right in the back bumper of the 029 coming into turn number 1 here. But it looks like KJ going to start pulling away here. Roll on by in that 3rd spot. Look at the chat. Allison Rodrigo saying that 029 is flying. He really does seem like that SpongeBob car is definitely got a secret formula under the hood. I almost said under the hood.
So only 18 to go. So if you're Ricky J, you can pit probably around lap 55, 56. You're going to be good to go until the end. So I almost wonder if maybe now we might see the strategies kind of converge onto each other and see most of the field pit around the same lap.
It could be possible. At this point, if you can make it to the end of the race, and there's really nothing really stopping you from pitting whenever you dang well please. You see the 4 getting on by the 8 car here. Everyone kind of riding around single file, just trying to get a lay of the land here as we see everyone coming around. But 193 still leading. 029, 22, and where's the 73? Where'd the 73 go? Is he down on pit road? Oh, Herman Reese down on pit road, so here's our first taker. Sorry for that jump around there, but just trying to track these guys down quickly and efficiently. But Herman Reese, the first taker. This is going to be interesting, because this is kind of... Being the first one down here means he can definitely get some advantage on those fresh tires, run some fast laps. You see the 28 now down on pit road. But the question is, will it hold out for him long enough?
Yeah, it's going to be close. I mean, we've got about 15 laps on a run, and I think he's going to need to make it 16. And can he save a lap or two, or is he going to run dry?
Oh, 22 car, Jason San Diego around in the grass here.
Uh-oh. I have a feeling he may have overshot pit road here.
think he did overshoot pit road. You see Steve Grant getting sideways. We're going to stay with the action here, though, because it's going to get a little confusing here if I start looking away. But you see Ricky J leading around here. Coming around turn 4, Ricky J still hanging on to the lead here at Michigan. Getting a draft off the 740 of Michael Moore, 38 of Sean, 49, 33, all together here right now. One down on pit road right now. Like I said, Jason San Diego spun. That's going to be huge for their opportunity in this race. But Cody Luke did a great job of getting down on pit road. Cody Luke coming off right now at the moment. So these guys riding around all on different strategies. See Herman Reese here just took tires and fuel before everyone else. So he's got the freshies right now. He can kind of make his way through these guys. We'll see what Ricky J does here, because if Ricky J runs this thing dry, it's going to be tight here, Dewey, because he'll have fresher tires to chase back down the leader, assuming the leader gets to him. He'll be able to chase back down the leader, assuming the leader gets by him before he exits pit road. But the question is, can he do it in enough time that we have left in this race?
I'm not sure, Ricky, and we see Ricky J has always been one of the better ones, of course, at tire conservation as well. So even if he has that fresher, even if those guys have fresher tires, Ricky J can probably conserve his own and fend them off at the very end.
Wait, Dewey, what lap is it right now? Ricky J coming down on pit road.
So Ricky J is going to be pitting now, coming to lap 58. So he's only going to have to make it about 12 laps on this cycle. And KJ coming in hot behind.
Of 80 laps?
Well, I think the server says 70. I thought we were going 80, but this says 70.
Oh, it says 70.
Yeah, I've been operating as if my brain just.
Yeah, I had as 80 all night. Well, my apologies. Joe in chat saying 80.
Well,
is it listed as 70?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. It says they're on 58 out of 70, so.
That is interesting.
Well. Look what we have here.
Oh, yeah. Well, then disregard the ticker a little bit. A 10 laps shaved off of tonight's event, presumably due to darkness. But Ricky J comes out of pit road here as we're trying to figure that out. Where's the 73 car? Herman Reese. You see how fast he's trying to get through turn number 1 here. Ricky J's on the back straightaway, but Herman Reese has a huge head of steam. Can he get back here? It's going to be close. It's going to be close.
I don't know if he's going to be able to do it here. It's going to be really, really close. And I think he's going to be just short here, Ricky.
That's going to be interesting, because this might fall right into Ricky J's hands unless we get a caution here. What lap are we coming to across the line here? That's going to be lap number 60 of 70, so 11 laps to go here at Michigan. Ricky J, not a lot of time left on this. You see a lot of guys down on pit road at the moment, though. 103 and Nelly, the 4, the 199, 22, 66. These guys all came down and pitted. These guys are all ahead of the 193 technically, so we're waiting to see where Ricky J comes out on track relative to them.
Yeah, it remains to be seen where he ends up coming out. Is BSR Magoo in the 144. He'll make his way down pit road this time. So we're hitting lap 60 this time. So only 11 to go.
Is this? Oh, I guess we're still waiting on lap 60. So 60 laps, 11 to go. I guess I was 1 lap early on that, huh?
Yeah, Ricky J has now cycled himself out to the race lead. Herman right behind him in second. But again, he's probably going to have to save a lap or 2 of fuel to make it to the end. So he's not going to be able to put up a fight for this race lead really at all. KJ back in third. I don't know if he can make up that distance between himself and Ricky J in these next 10 laps. But
across the line, don't have the graphic for it. We're hitting the line here for the TWB. 10 to go here at Michigan International Raceway. TWB, it's pretty dang good. And you can put that on a t-shirt. Ricky J still leading here. Can he hang on to this? Herman Reese going to try everything he can, but he's got old tires, Dewey. I don't know if he's going to be able to hang on for long.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long he's going to be able to do it, but look at Herman. He's actually catching Ricky J here. But again, he's probably going to have to go into fuel saving at some point, so I don't know how long he's going to be able to do this. I'm
not sure either, but coming across the line here for 9 laps to go, he's going to give it his all and see what happens. Herman Reese trying to track down the 193 of Ricky J. He's getting pretty close. He's got that draft. I think that's what's helping him right now, Dewey. He's got that draft that's helping pull him around here. So even if he doesn't have the handling, he can hang on with the speed.
Yeah, and of course the draft can also help, offset any potential fuel saving he has to do since he can gain that speed back much faster.
It's true, coming around off of turn number 4 here. You see the 193 actually getting closer to the 73 a little bit, but Ricky J does a pretty good job of getting some power off the turn here. Still 1-2 here, as that was 8 laps to go here from Michigan. It's really the Herman Reese and Ricky J show right now, unless something catastrophic happens or we get a caution.
AJ isn't that far behind. I don't know if he's gained in the last couple of laps, but he's within striking distance if something happens to one of these top 2.
He's definitely within striking distance of these guys. He definitely has those tires. It's going to be a question of if he's running fast enough laps. I think definitely looks hooked up. He's got him on past the 33, the 49, 28. A lot of these guys out here that were out a little earlier than him. KJ trying to put in the work here to get back up to the 73 and 193. Not sure if he's going to have enough time here. 7 laps to go here for Michigan.
I wonder if Herman is going to try to make Ricky J burn out his tires and then see if he can save while also passing him. I'm not really sure what his other options are. But again, the max we've seen tonight for these runs is about 15 laps. And I think Herman's going to have to make it either 16 or 17 on the cycle he's on right now. So he's going to have to really balance here between trying to pass for the lead and saving enough and maybe just settling for second tonight. It's going to be interesting to see which ends up happening.
Definitely going to be interesting, but Herman Reese keeping that 193 Voiles trucking machine in his front mirror. That's 5 laps around left at this joint. You see KJ still trying to pick up ground here, but man, KJ's just maybe a little too far back.
Yeah, I think KJ is going to have something happen quick. And the issue, too, is that if a caution comes out now, I don't even know if we're going to go green. So if KJ have a chance to win, it's probably going to have to be either a mechanical issue from one of these top 2 or a last lap spin that doesn't trigger a yellow.
I'm sorry, I think I miscounted. This is 5 laps to go, right?
Yeah, they're going to be coming to 4 to go this time.
All right, my bad. I miscounted. I missed by 1, but that's why you're working without a net here on JTN. Oh, the 4 machine is Silver Bullet slow on the apron here, but it looks like he stays rolling. I don't think that's going to be a caution, so we stay green, stay running, as the 4 car is under speed.
Oh, he went completely around out of turn 2. He hit the inside wall pretty hard.
Oh, my goodness. Well, it's 3 laps to go here from the front. Ricky J still leading on this 173, or 73 Herman Reese. Going to hang with this battle for the lead here because there's not a lot of time left in this race. These guys all fighting each other for position. You see how close this 029 is to the 73, but I just don't know if he's got enough rubber underneath that car to get all the way back up to him.
I'm not sure either at this point. I think KJ's done about what he can do, but you know what? Given where he started third is still a pretty good outcome for that 029. All things considered.
Going to cross the line. Says lap 68 of 80, so I think this is 3 laps to go, right?
Yeah. Just took to go this time.
Quick maths.
And Ricky J is starting to pull away a bit from Herman. I think Herman might be in fuel-saving mode now. As looking at the speeds, Herman's about 10 miles an hour slower in the middle of the turn right now. So he might have realized that he needs to save a lap or 2 to make it to the end. And if that's the case, Ricky J probably has this one in the bag.
Might have this one in the bag indeed, but we will see. Coming off of turn 4 here. 2 laps to go for Ricky J. Can he hang on to this right now? Uncontested. It's going to take a lot for Ricky J to lose this lead. Can Herman Reese hang on and stay in this top 3, though? I think that's going to be the big question.
Yeah, if I'm Herman at this point, I'm just going to focus on making sure I make it to the end on fuel, because second is still a really good result for him.
Definitely a very good result for that team. Coming around, though, turn number 3, Ricky J trying to hang on to this. Rolling around through turn number 3 and turn number 4. Coming down the front straightaway, going to be taking the white flag. 1 more lap to go here from Michigan.
And now Herman is taking it as well, so he just needs 1 more lap to make it around. Hopefully he has enough fuel to do it.
See if he can. Riding around here. That car's still under power, but it does seem like it's chugging along here. You see how close KJ's getting to him. It looks like he's really trying all of his best not to lose that car here. But looks like it started with Ricky J, and it's gonna end with Ricky J here from the Michigan International Speedway. Ricky J coming off turn 4 here, down the front straightaway. Ricky J gonna win here at Michigan.
Oh, and Herman just ran out coming to the line. KJ just passed him for second.
Oh my goodness.
Ran out in turn 4. He was that close to making it. So KJ leapfrogs him for second. But you know what? The strategy worked for Herman. He still got third out of all of this.
Third place for Herman Reese, the 28 of Keith MC, or down here on the apron out of gas. So a lot of these guys taking that right to the end here. But at the end of the day, tonight, it is Ricky J's day indeed here at Michigan.
Yeah, great job there by Ricky J. Executed the strategy perfectly. And he'll come home the winner here tonight.
Now the start-finish line. I'd be remiss if I didn't say this for Joe, so we wait on him to do it. Burn it down, Ricky J, winner here at Michigan. And with this win, that will put Ricky up to 9 wins on the season. It's 144. Magoo there goes on by. He's got someone to be. But Ricky J, winner here tonight at Michigan. Now 9 wins on the season, coming for KJ's best on the season so far of 10. He's got one more race to do it, but KJ could win a lot more races before this season is out as well. So, we'll be taking you folks into our phenomenal little post-race show here from Michigan. What do you think? How was that? How did that race go for you?
I mean, despite the shorter runs on fuel, we still had some pretty solid strategy there in that race. You saw Herman taking it a lap or two further than what we thought was possible and netted himself third as a result. So definitely a great race. We had quite a bit of passing, quite a bit of strategy, and it was a fun night despite those 2 early yellows. And once again, congrats to Ricky J on a job well done tonight.
Definitely a job well done, and a lot of strategy at work this evening, which I think kind of threw everyone a bit not for a loop, but you definitely saw a lot of guys trying something there, and it didn't end up giving them the results that they wanted. So we'll get everything set up here for the JTN post-race show in a quick second. Just need to get everything all happy and healthy up here, up in the booth, as we are getting everything just kind of sorted out. Waiting on this real quick here. Do that, we'll do this, and we put that up on the screen, and look at that, nice and clean, and it's not perfect, but you know, what are you gonna do? So, tonight's race here at Michigan, now officially down and out. We'll be going into our JTN post-race to do our interviews, and how do you want to do this? Do you want to do top 3 first, or third through first, or first through third?
I think third through first.
Third through first, alright. Can do. See if I can find him. It looks like third place did not stick around. Looks like Herman Reese did in fact leave. So we actually do not have third place Herman Reese. So we only have KJ and Ricky J. So do you want to just do second and first then?
I guess.
All right. Well, I'll bring him up into the booth here.
User was moved to your
A
channel.
little free on exit.
Oh, sorry. Did we interrupt you there?
Oh no, we're just stuff.
Sorry about that, KJ. So, well, BSR Killjoules, driver of the number 029 SpongeBob Chevy. A great run tonight here. Managed to sneak out that second right at the last minute. You were coming there. We definitely saw how much speed that car had right at the end. How many more laps did you need there to catch the leaders?
Honestly, Ricky, I I would not have caught him if we didn't have a caution. I was faster. I was like 9 seconds behind the leader when we had that first green flag pit stop, and I just kept gaining chunks. But when I got close enough to him, he came out with a lap car, and that gave him just enough advantage with the draft. I couldn't get to him, but considering how it started, I will take a second place. It could have been a lot worse tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Came up all the way through the field there, started at the back all the way up to that second. Was that by design, not taking a qualifying time, or was that just, were you just toying with the field here?
Oh no, I took a time, but it was terrible. I wrecked. So I've had internet issues all night tonight, so I just kind of rode around the first couple cautions, and then I was gonna jump some people, but I forgot to put tires back on the car, so it's been a rough night. And I got behind people, and that on that restart we had that almost wreck. I lost the draft right there, and it was pretty much just playing catch up from that point. But the car was really good. I think I had the best car. It's just when you put yourself in that big of a hole, it's hard to come out of it, especially without a caution.
Definitely, for sure. Well, congratulations again on second place here tonight. Before I let you go, is there anyone you want to thank? Friends, family, sponsors, anyone watching? Go ahead.
Well, I told Joe if I got on the podium tonight, I say give Joe a shout out. So shout out to Joe if he's watching.
He is
Appreciate
definitely watching. He's been manning the chat all night.
he does. And you, Ricky, and Dewey here at JT broadcast booth for broadcasting these races on Thursday. Michigan's a great racetrack. A lot of racing, a lot of passing, a lot of different lines you can do, and a lot of strategies like you've seen tonight. Magoo and all of the admins here at BSR for everything they do each and every week for us here. Brian and Kathy Voiles of Voiles Trucking for sponsoring Thursday nights. Appreciate everything they do, even though Brian ain't been able to get on here lately. We appreciate it, Brian. Ricky had a good car. I wish I could have got to him, made it a race out of it. But good win, Ricky. We damaged limitation to what it could have been with points, and we'll just go on to next week.
All right, well, congratulations again, KJ, on that second place, and great pat on the back there. Great run tonight, and glad to talk with you again.
All right, thank you, Ricky.
All right.
User was moved
BSR Killjoules, driver of the 029 car there, finishing second tonight, excuse me. Been a long night here, but since we don't have third place car, we will bring in our winner this evening.
User was moved to your channel.
Driver of the number 193 car, BSR Ricky J. Ricky, we've done this a lot this year. Usually it's Joe, but this week I get to do it. Having you up here in the booth, congratulating you on another win here. So, how'd you manage that fuel? How'd you manage that pit cycle?
Well, on the earlier pit stop, hit an issue with the tires, so that kind of slowed me down a little bit. But I saw that we went a good 7 to 10 laps, and with it being 3x on fuel, it can make a big difference. I'm like, well, you never know. We'll take a chance in pit, see many guys stay out. Thankfully, it worked out there. Yeah,
for sure. And it seemed like your car was definitely very strong on older tires. Did that long run speed help you there to kind of keep up with these guys when the pit cycle got weird?
Oh yeah, it played a huge role. It was a little loose early, but once you get those tires warmed up and a couple laps on them, as long as you don't, overdo it, you can carry more than you think through the center off. So I just held my ground the best I could and tried to stay with the draft as much as possible, and thankfully worked into our favor at the end.
It definitely did, and you chipped into that points lead just a little bit on KJ there, started right behind you, but you definitely got more points on the day, at least 15 worth with those most laps led. So definitely a very dominant performance there. Was the car good in practice? Did you guys have something good under your sleeve, or was this just kind of figuring it out during the race?
No, it was a good piece. We just went out there, run some laps, make sure we warmed up, ready to go. Did some testing earlier this week, and I was very content with what I had in the car. So we just went out there with what we had and made the most out of it.
Well, you certainly did make the most out of it. Before I let you go here, if there's anyone you want to thank, friends, family, sponsors, you know what the deal is. We've had you in here so many times, I don't even know how to count it anymore.
I just want to say thank you to you guys here in the broadcast. Hope you're enjoying your vacation, Joe. I know you're watching very nervously, if that's a word, nervously. But I think it worked out great. It's a great race, so I want to thank everybody for coming out and racing. I had a lot of fun. Hope everybody else had a lot of fun. Thank you guys for watching, and of course, shout out to Brian and Kathy Voiles from Voiles Trucking. Thank you guys for everything, and we'll see you next week.
All right, we will see you next week as we're here every single week with you guys, and we look forward to it. BSR Ricky J 193 car, thank you again. Congratulations on that win. Go enjoy it with the crew.
Thanks, Ricky.
And that was the driver of the 193 car, BSR Ricky J, your winner tonight here at Michigan. And that's going to do it for our JTN post-race here. Dewey, final thoughts. I mean, Joe does this to me every single week, so I guess 3 words to describe the race. How would you describe tonight's race?
Pretty cool strategy.
Pretty cool strategy. You want to expand on that?
I can.
You can. Okay, I'll give you more words. A lot of words. Give me an essay. I want it on my desk.
Yeah, but like I said before the interviews, it was pretty cool to see the different strategies that came out of it. You know, cool that we saw Herman make it just to the end there and hold on for second, even though we thought short pitting probably wasn't going to work. Had a lot of fast cars, a lot of grid passing. It was a pretty good night tonight.
Definitely a pretty good night, really entertaining night. And look at that, we made it to the end of the broadcast in one piece and nothing broke. So, I think we deserve brownie after this one. But again, fantastic strategy here tonight. A lot of fun watching this one. A lot of fun up here in the booth doing this one. So that's going to be it for tonight's broadcast here from Michigan on JTN. For everyone up in the booth here, me and Dewey, for Bristol, our producer, for Joe down in chat, manning everything, for our sponsors, TWB Garden Lights Direct, Voiles Trucking, Circle B Diecast, everyone involved in this. Just want to thank you very much, so much for watching, and hope you all join us next time when we join Maverick Cup Series racing at Richmond. Maverick Night in America. Be there or be square here on JTN. So long for now, folks.
Yeah, and they're going to be 3 wide coming to the checkered. Never mind, they're going to be... Oh! Turn 4 into the triangle. Whitehill is through the grass. It's going to be Noah Joyce winning his first career race in the Red Bull Cup Series.
Off the ride and they're wrecking behind them. You have cars flying everywhere. Cars upside down, it doesn't matter. Noah Joyce has done it. He's won at Daytona in the 3 car.
Behind, they're going to be side by side again. Contact there between Sinner and Bordeaux.
Oh, the contact! Oakley into the wall. That's going to be Jack Healy coming to the line.
Jack Healy went